Hi everyone, Kieran Brown here, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the addiction that you never knew you had. Now, when I was on my first cut last year in 2023, I had such a strong craving every evening for chocolate, and in particular a caramel Kit Kat chunky. And when this craving would come on, I literally couldn't think about anything else. Like, I'd had my dinner, like I was finished with food for the day, but I'd just be sitting there and I would need some chocolate. And I'd walk to the shop, which was like 10-15 minute walk down the road, just to go and get one and satisfy this craving. And I purposely never had like the big packets of Kit Kat chunkies. You know, you can buy them in packs of 4, 6, 8, whatever. And I purposely never had them because I know I would just smash like a few of them at the same time, and it would take a lot of willpower not to. So what do you see here? It might seem quite obvious. It's obviously a couple of drug addicts. They've got their needles, they look homeless, and these guys will have the same sort of craving too, but instead of a caramel Kit Kat chunky, it'll be for whatever drug they've got there in their needles. And what I'll talk about in this video is how this little girl here with her pick and mix, it's not so different to these two guys with their needles. And this is quite a funny picture which I found on Google, and it's, you know, you can see it's a bunch of kids there who are drinking beers, smoking cigarettes, playing cards. One of them seems to be passed out there. It's quite comical, but I'll show how this isn't really that far from reality, and people don't even know about it. So here we have Coca-Cola and a beer, and you know, kids drink Coca-Cola all the time. Adults obviously drink beer, and what I've learned recently is that these two drinks aren't actually too dissimilar once they enter our bodies. So I watched this talk by Dr. Robert Lustig. It's on YouTube. It's called Fat Chance Fructose 2.0. And he basically describes fructose as alcohol without the buzz. And fructose is the sugar which is found in a lot of fruits and like fruit juices. And what I actually learned was that a beer and a Coke does the same thing in the liver, and alcohol is self-limiting, whereas soft drinks aren't. And I learned that alcohol and sugar are actually metabolized in the same way. So this is a study from the University of Bordeaux. I basically Googled the question, is sugar a drug? And this is one of the first things that came up. And it says in 2007, they discovered that sugar has a bigger impact than hard drugs on the brain. And the experiment showed that refined sugar was 4 times more addictive than cocaine, which is quite crazy. And sugar, just like these hard illegal drugs, generate excessive reward signals in your brain and have the potential to override normal self-control mechanisms leading to addiction. And it says there at the bottom, in other words, refined sugar hijacks all brain receptors that are meant to regulate your appetite. Now, it's not hunger, but cravings running the show. So if we look at sugar, it's an addictive white substance. It's not good for us. And cocaine is also an addictive white substance that's not good for us. And this isn't a link that many people make, and I hadn't until I saw this presentation. But after looking into it a bit more, I really do believe that sugar is a drug and it should be treated as such. And this is the easy way, well, it's not easy, but simple. How do you actually reduce and quit your sugar intake? And that is to see it as a drug. And I've only just started doing this in the last few weeks since I've watched this presentation. Since I've watched it, I've been on the carnivore diet and I haven't had any sugar. And the interesting thing is, after 2 or 3 weeks, the cravings actually go away. So, I mentioned at the start that of an evening I would get this really strong craving for chocolate, and it would just happen every night, and I would have to have that chocolate. Um, but if you can resist for like 2 or 3 weeks, then the cravings will start to come down. And now it's in the last couple of weeks. I'm now 4 weeks into this diet, and yeah, in the last week or two, I haven't had any cravings of note. And literally, when I go into a shop now and I see like all the sweets and the chocolate and the sugary products, even like fruit juices, stuff like that, I just see it now and I say to myself in my head, like, these are drugs, like they're addictive. And if I went into a shop and saw some like illegal drugs that were very addictive, um, I wouldn't even think twice about like not buying them. I just completely ignore them. And that's literally sort of like my mindset with sugar now. So it might seem like an extreme comparison, but it's the way I see it now. Is that this caramel Kit Kat chunky, which I used to crave, and a key of whatever that is, it's very similar, and it's actually just a craving, and it's not hunger. Whenever you crave like carbohydrates or sugar, it's never actually, well, it might be, but rarely it's actually due to hunger. If you haven't eaten for a few weeks, then like fair enough. But if you haven't eaten for a couple hours, and you were full, you had a big meal, and then suddenly a couple hours later you get this craving, it's not hunger. It can't be, because you were full 2 hours ago, and it's just the sugar playing tricks with your satiety. So how does this relate to fat loss? What if you're in a calorie deficit? Aren't you going to lose weight no matter what? And the answer is maybe not, because sugar actually spikes insulin, which is the fat storing hormone, and that blocks leptin, which is your satiety hormone. When leptin is high, you feel full. And so when insulin is high, you feel less full. And when leptin is blocked, you eat more because your body is in starvation mode. Your hypothalamus doesn't get the signal from the leptin to stop eating. And that can just make you really hungry all the time and really crave like the sugar and the carbohydrates. And then when you eat them, your insulin spikes up again and it just sort of spirals. So in summary, when you are about to eat sugar, say to yourself, this is a drug and it will make me more hungry than I was before. There's absolutely no nutrition that comes from it. And that's what our body craves, is nutrition and not calories. If you're okay with the consequences, then that's fine. I know I'm not going to sit here and say to you that I'll never have sugar ever again. It's just unlikely. But having found out about this information, I definitely see sugar in a new light now. And I think seeing it like as a drug, as an addictive substance, has made the transition like super easy. And yeah, from here, I'm definitely gonna keep my sugar intake low. And I will also say that to achieve a great body transformation, you don't need to eliminate sugar. When I cut down from when I lost like 18 pounds in 10 weeks, I had a Kit Kat chunky pretty much every night. And, that maybe my results would have been better, but it's still possible. So, it's up to you to make up your own mind. I just want to tell you guys what I've learned recently and how I'm going about it. So yeah, that's everything for this video. If you want any help with coaching one-to-one to help achieve body transformation, lean down, see some abs, click the first link in the description and we can have a chat. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.